Hello, love bug. So I'm willing to bet that you're not watching this because somebody sent it to you, because we all know that is not how demand avoidance works. And if you're somebody who struggles with demand avoidance, or the partner of somebody who struggles with demand avoidance, and therefore you struggle with demand avoidance in the relationship too, this video is for you. A lot of the time, demand avoidance is tied in with ADHD. And as you can experience and imagine, it comes into play in your relationship all the time. So, just for example, my partner comes up with the most fulfilling, meaningful, fun ideas. And for a long time, my initial reaction was just, that's stupid. Inside my head, that was always my reaction. Sometimes I would kind of notice it and think about it and be like, wait. This isn't a bad idea. Like, what is going on with you? And it also happens with our own ideas. So partners of ADHDers, like, this might help you take it less personally. Like, we also are those critics on the Muppet Show to our own ideas, and we really get in our own way about, like, rebelling against ourselves, and it can be really exhausting. And so what I've started to do is use EFT tapping to figure out how to accept the cool parts of the rebellion and, like, sticking it to the man and questioning authority and all of that, but also making space for, like, your partner is not your authority and you guys are coming up with ideas together. And one of the things that I was thinking about before this video, even though I don't actually know the science of, like, why demand avoidance is so connected to ADHD, but one of the things that I was thinking about was, like, if you think about growing up and you have ADHD, and maybe it's diagnosed, maybe it's not, it kind of doesn't matter, because people will tell you all the time, like, all of these ideas, like, oh, why don't you just write it down? Or why don't you just set a timer? Or why don't you just XYZ? And because we have known the whole time that shit doesn't work for us, we've just started to hear every idea from other people as, like, the Peanuts adults, like, wah, wah, like, yeah, like, great idea. Let's just get through this advice that you're giving me so that we can move on to the real conversation. So I think that's, at least for me, like, that's part of why my natural reaction to any idea is, like, that won't work for me. And so I just wanted to offer that to kind of give, for me, it really helps to figure out, like, why am I the way that I am? Even if I do want to change the way that I am. So that's what we're going to be doing with the tapping. We're going to be, like, loving and accepting ourselves and our partners, and also kind of creating this hope that things don't always need to be this tug of war. So if you're open, I'm not going to say you should definitely join me. This is an idea that we're floating out there, and you definitely should not do this tapping. Okay, let's go. I love my rebellious spirit. But sometimes I rebel against things that I'm not actually against. And it makes my life way harder than it even needs to be. Because some of these ideas I would love to go along with. When my partner extends their hand out to me, I don't want to say, ew, what's that? But that is always my initial reaction. And then I feel like I have to act unnatural. because I can't trust my initial reaction. And that just makes me tense up and feel really weird. And so this opportunity that could be a moment of connection for us turns into the opposite. We're both frustrated and unheard. And this idea doesn't even get to be talked about. And it just feels really sad. And even though I have this fire, I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though demand avoidance makes my relationship hard, I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. And I choose to think about taking my partner's hand even if that's stupid. Okay, so we're gonna pause there and take a deep breath in before we keep going. And let it go. Perfect. Okay, top of the head. Are you questioning my authority? Why can't you just say yes to anything? Without making it this huge tug of war. It makes everything feel like a struggle. Like I'm Sisyphus pushing a rock up the hill. But then I get halfway up and I'm like, this is stupid. So I've done all this work to push the rock up and I don't even get the benefit. And there were good reasons that I learned to challenge authority. Maybe people have had a lot of bad ideas in the past. And trying to follow their ideas has made me feel really alienated. Trying to follow the way other people do things has made me feel bad about myself. So I'm right to have a little bit of a filter. But I want some things to get through that filter. When people have ideas, especially my partner, I want my heart to be super open. I want to say yes and to my partner. Because even if there's a part of the idea that I don't like, I'm really good at talking through it to make it fun for both of us. the same spirit that makes me rebellious and question authority also makes me really creative. And so maybe it's not a problem that I don't take everything at face value. Maybe it just means that's not the final destination. And even though I've thrown away ideas before I even considered them, I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though that's made a lot of conversations and decisions really tough, I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. And I don't know if my inner reflex will ever completely change. I might always have a whisper of, that's stupid. But something that I can change is the thing that I do next. Maybe I tell that little voice, thanks for your feedback. But I want to think about this. Maybe I imagine the inside of my head as a committee. And I do hear everyone's voice. So that when my partner suggests something, I know that I'm going to see it from all angles. And when I think about taking my partner's hand, I feel a little bit scared, but I'm actually really excited to trust them. Maybe they don't always know exactly what we should be doing. But maybe that's part of the fun. And I don't know if you've heard, but I can be pretty adaptive when things don't go according to plan. So even though I love and accept my demand avoidance, I am ready to become besties with demands. And being besties doesn't mean always agreeing with your bestie. Sometimes when I hear a demand, I might respond to it with my trademarked sassy honesty. But then I'll also affirm and add to it. Because life is more fun when we're collaborating. and I'm willing to help my partner collaborate in the style that works best for both of us. This has not always been easy. But if I have stuck through to the end of this video, then that means I might already be healing something. And that feels pretty amazing. Okay, so we're gonna stop there, take a deep breath, and let it go. So yeah, that was your tapping on demand avoidance and everything that might come up for you when you think about following through on something, or yeah, taking your partner's hand about something. I hope that this was helpful for you. I'd love to hear in the comments whether you noticed anything kind of lighting up or anything that just felt super off, because that's the other thing that can come up with tapping that us rebels will be really excited to hear, that sometimes saying these words is powerful because you realize the opposite is actually true. So whatever you're feeling, it's not wrong, just like in life. So there you go. Okay, I'm so excited to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for doing this with me, and have an amazing day, unless you're still feeling like you don't want to listen to demands. And in that case, have a horrible day. Don't you dare have a good day. Okay, I could do this forever, so I'm just going to let you go. Okay,